One earned run over seven innings pitched usually gets a W. Usually does. All right. So we are going to go ahead and watch. See, look, top performers: Kaz Cappy, Amanda Hellerman, Elijah Nock, Bob Feller. The 4 best performers thus far have been the pitchers. All 4 did a great job. A great job. All right. Last raffle of the day has been started. Type in !join to get involved. We're going to go ahead and let's go in 40 time. Mythics and Giants game has started. Nothing has happened just yet. Nothing happens for the Mythics as they go down quietly in the first inning. Let's go ahead and speed the game up. Oh, wow. And you down with OBP just hits a solo homer for the Giants. And that is a 1-0 lead early that they take. Runners on third. And it looks like Lowry doubles, scoring in Schmidt. It is 2-0 Giants over the Mythics here in the second inning. Good start for the Giants. Very good start for the Giants. Mythics are not doing anything. They go down quickly, it looks like, as well. Yep, nothing for either ball club as they enter the third inning. When does our next game start? 2:35, so we got about another hour. We'll speed this up so we can get more games going. Let's see if anything else happens, because I want to keep going. So, again, Asiacs are now with all of the caps. So Jody Weed has singled, scoring in Cordoba, and the Mythics have runners on first and second, but Beamer Bird pops out. Unfortunate. Choo Choo Magoo is getting the start. Yep. As how many caps do you have? 129,000. Oh my gosh. Annie Frazier. Hey, Annie's coming in clutch for her Mythics. Second round draft pick as she scored in Joel. And the game is tied at 2, but Raquel Guolin grounds into a fielder's choice. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right, now we'll bring this down to a factor of 60. Pete Wheeler immediately gets to third base against the Warlocks, and Dmitry Petrovich sacrifice flies him home. 1-0 Admirals over the Warlocks. Mythics and Giants game, both tied at 1. Bruce Springsteen hits a solo home run. Bradford Smart hits a solo home run. Coyotes take a 1-0 lead over the Cluckers, and the Warlocks have tied the Admirals. They're going a little fast. Let's slow it down just a little. Mythics and Giants game still tied up at 2 in the top of the 7th. And Cluckers are currently still hitless as they enter the bottom of the 2nd. Warlocks and Admirals are both tied at 1. The boss. And now nothing is happening again. I can't remember what speed we normally go at, but looks like the Cluckers have runners on, and Vladimir Guerrero, he's got a single to score in Wiesen, and the Cluckers have tied the Coyotes. 1-1 is the score. Why is every game low-scoring game today? What is in... Because it's tied 2-2 between the Mythics and the Giants. Still. 1-1 between the Admirals and Warlocks. 1-1 between the Cluckers and the Coyotes. What is going on? Ace pitchers are good this year. I guess so. Oh, but the Giants go ahead on a sacrifice fly by Janice Lowry, and that will score Raquel Cullen. I'm not going to mention that other one. He sucks. Boo. Warlocks have taken the lead. And it looks like Sandy Koufax has struck out 9 in 5 innings of work. Ace pitchers indeed. Game ends with the Giants winning the Mythics in another nail-biter. 3-2 is your victory. Todd Xavier gets the win. Bubble Ray Jones gets the loss. The Owls and the Whistlers, Ducks and the Armadillos game have both begun. Cluckers and Coyotes still tied at 1. Looks like the Warlocks get an extra run on a Nell Herbert single, scoring in Days and Guile. And oh gosh, Tim Gross has also struck out 9 through 5 innings, but his offense has just hasn't bothered to come out to pitch. Meanwhile, Ted Williams for the Whistlers strikes first in their game against the Owls, hitting a solo homer to give them a 1-0 lead. Admirals are down by 2 in the top of the 7th. And they go to the bottom of the 7th, still down by 2. So, Gross would love some support from his offense, but man, is this the 1968 run environment? I don't know what's going on. I really, if this continues, this is going to go down in BYP history as the most, as the tightest opening day where it was just pitchers came to play. Just the pitchers came to play in opening day. Days and Guile gets a 4th run for the Warlocks, and Jose O'Reilly gives a 2nd run scored for the Whistlers. They are up. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about our second starter games. I think Az's games on Monday are going to be a lot more difficult to watch, potentially. Oh, gosh. Ty Cobb has double scoring in Von Hostick and Sullivan. Admirals are only down by 1, but it is the bottom of the 8th. Jade Green didn't come to play. Gross is still pitching. Coyotes have runners on the corners. As the game is still tied, can Gross get out of the situation? Potterless is hit by the pitch, and Bruce Springsteen grounds into a fielder's choice. They go to the 8th inning, all tied up at 1. Meanwhile, the Warlocks and Admirals game goes into the 9th inning. The Admirals are trailing by 1, and Dmitry Petrovich flies out. 2 outs for McDonald, and McDonald is retired. As the end of your ball game, Jay Green gets the loss for the Admirals. The Warlocks take it 4-3 in 9 innings, with Koufax getting the win. Again, all of these. When do we get to the first not pitcher? Pitcher. What is that? 8, 9 pitchers in a row? All these pitchers are doing a heck of a job, and all the non-pitchers are struggling to do anything. Meanwhile, the Coyotes get ahead of the game as Mike Trout double scoring in Will Hunt, giving the Coyotes a 2-1 lead over the Cluckers. AZ Axel juiced the pitching. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Faye Dawson hits a 3-run homer and blows open the game. It's a 5-1 lead now for the Coyotes over the Cluckers. Lisa Crockett hits a sacrifice fly, and that will score in Larry Walker, giving the Whistlers a 3-0 lead over the Owls. Armadillo's game and the Ducks has been going on for a while and was quiet until now, as Base on Balls has hit a solo home run, giving the Ducks, or the Armadillos, pardon me, a 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, Jessica Wisarsis grounded out, scoring in Jones. Coyotes are now leading 6-1 over the Cluckers, and it's not looking good. Cluckers are down to their 3 final outs. Rough. That's rough. That is rough. Congratulations to our raffle winners, Tyrion, Twitch and McTroll, and Backyard Sports Center again, both winning, all 3 winning 1,666 caps. The Cluckers down to their last out. Whistlers get another run on a wild pitch, scoring in O'Roney. Coyotes take down the Cluckers in easy fashion, taking them down 6-1 in 9 innings. Barry gets the win. Flowers gets the loss. We now have, let's see, just a couple games going and then 3 more left to go. I don't understand what happened today. I was expecting, everyone to be swinging and lots of runs. I think what the takeaway here is the ace pitchers are ace pitchers. So, I mean, so many of them went in the first round. It kind of makes sense that they should be performing this well. But they took it to another level. I did not expect that. Goats are currently leading over the Frogs 1-0 after Joe Diggs grounds out but scores in teeny-theeny. Adam Van Doren hitting a solo homer gives the Trains a 1-0 lead over the Cacti. Looks like Evan Longoria has double scoring in O'Reilly. Lemons climbing up that top of the where's Lemons? Yeah, Lemons up to third, up to the top. Lemons is Armadillos, 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts. Lemons is absolutely doing the Lord's work. The Whistlers have runners on second and third. Stan Musial hits a solo homer for the Cacti. They now have tied the Trains. What else we got going on? Anything else exciting? Nope. Nothing else at the moment. Tied up at 1, 6-0 lead. Larry Walker hits a solo home run for the Whistlers. They are absolutely destroying the Owls so far.
All right, let's get down to business.
That's the end of the ball game. Thank you so much for the follow, Scrum Halves 2. Thank you very much for joining the BYP. Enjoy your 1,500 caps. And the Armadillos took down the Ducks in incredibly easy fashion. 2-0. Another just ace performance. Lemons went 8 innings, 4 hits, no walks, no runs, and 11 strikeouts. Great performance by Roger Lemons for his rookie debut in Season 2. So that's that game concluded. It is currently the bottom of the 4th. In the Goats versus Frogs game, the Goats are still leading 1-0, as the Frogs haven't done really anything yet. Cacti get a run scored from Gale Brewer, who hits a sacrifice fly, scoring in Utley. Owls are down to their final out. The Owls go down without even a whisper. 6-0 loss as the Whistlers take them down 6-0 in 9 innings. The Frogs, meanwhile, are still losing to the Goats as Joe Diggs has hit a solo homer, but Naomi Murray has struck out 9 through 5 innings. Her offense has just been absent. It's AFK. No one knows where it is. Nobody knows. Oh, but here we go. Here we go. Luann Louis singles scoring in Suzuki Jr. Runners are now on the corners for Hugh-san first for the Goats, or for the Frogs, pardon me. Can Hugh do anything? Runners score. Looks like Hugh-san first just simply popped out. Measly little pop out. What is it with like some of the star players just not living up to... Some of the star players are just absolutely... definitely not living up to what their expectations were. Nevertheless, Goats get 3 runs in that inning. They are now leading... No, Frogs get 3 runs in that innings. They are now leading the Goats 3-2, giving Naomi the lead that she definitely has been pitching for. Meanwhile, Cactus are just, I was about to say, are leading the Trains. It is tied again as Roland McPoley hits another solo home run. That is, I believe, their second of the day. But then Mikey Thomas fights back for the Cacti, getting his solo home run. Bryce Utley singles. Now everything's happening again. Phillips scores. Cactus are now leading 4-2 over the Trains. Runner on first with seventh inning, I believe, currently. Meanwhile, the Captains and Pioneers game has begun. Captains strike first with a Christian Mims sacrifice fly, scoring in Cutie Pie. Pablo Sanchez, the secret weapon for Season 2, starts off by hitting a solo home run. I hope that is not the last that we'll have heard of him. Solo homer for Pablo Sanchez. Reapers are leading the Rockets 1-0 here in the bottom of the 1st. Meanwhile, Frogs and Goats game is still 1 run difference, but the Goats have runners in scoring position. What happened here? Something happened with the Goats and Frogs, but I don't know what. Something big happened and something big happened. But the Frogs are still holding on. Naomi's still pitching. Runner is on scoring position. 2 outs. And Olafson flies out. So, game is still close. Still very close game. Still a very close game. Rockets take the lead over the Reapers as they get a 2 RBI single from Pamela Kirkos as DeVecchio and Axelrod score. Meanwhile, Keisha Phillips doubles, getting in Musial and Morgan, the Cactus, looking to finish the Trains off. Here in the bottom of the 8th, there's just 2 innings away. 6-2 lead over the Trains. Meanwhile, the Captains have a run on no hits and an error. How is that possible? That's got to be super rare for that to happen. Looks like Finley Murray is currently pitching for the Frogs. Goes to the 8th without any further trouble. Meanwhile, the Kings and the Ninjas game has begun, with the Kings getting a quick instant lead with a Pete Rose single, scoring in McBarron. Again, something's happened with the Frogs. I don't know what, but Ichiro Suzuki just got an 2 RBI single. That scored in Padilla and Espinoza. The Frogs are now leading the Goats 5-2. Craig Biggio for the Ninjas, meanwhile, has doubled scoring in Allen. That game is now tied. Trains are down to their final 3 outs. Alex Murray singles scoring in Suzuki Jr. Lindsey Felkate hits a solo homer. Huson first hits a 3-run home run. Good grief. Now the bats are coming alive just really late in the games. Hitty ball single that scored in Biggio. It's 2-1 Ninjas over the Kings. Trains get a home run from Lindsey Felkate, solo shots. Now they're now trailing by 3, but they still are 3 outs away. Runners advance on a balk, scoring in Lee. Reapers are tied now with the Rockets. Trains down to their final out. Oh, goodness gracious me. But another Womack ground out scores Van Dorn. Maria Luna single scoring in Olaf Tollefson. The Trains have the tying run on first base, winning run at the plate, and it's Rome in a day. Rome in a day. But Rome in a day is retired. Oh, that's so disappointing. Cacti take down the Trains, who almost came back. Almost. 6-5 is your final score. Watson second gets his first RBI of his career, scoring in Karansky. The Pioneers have tied with the Captains. The Frogs are absolutely dominating the Goats, who are down to their final out, but they do have runners on first and second. Finley looking to finish it out, and Finley does. Frogs take down the Goats in 9 innings. 9-2 is your final score. Meanwhile, for the Rockets and Reapers, looks like the Rockets have taken the lead after a Harry Fast double scores in Pamela Kirkos. Pioneers and the Captains game has seen a development. The Pioneers are now leading 3-1 after a Santillan single which scored Villarta and Segund. So we are now looking into the 5th inning for the Pioneers and Captains, the 4th inning for the Rockets and Reapers, and the 5th inning for the Kings and the Ninjas. The last few games of our first day of the opening season. Nothing currently happening at the moment, so we'll move back up to 40. The solid win by the Frogs there. Abenduct has pitched 5 no-hit innings. Goodness. He's given up a run, but he has pitched 5 no-hit innings. Claudia Villarta hits a solo home run for the Pioneers. They take a lead over the Captains here. So they are in the bottom of the 6th after Cumberbatch strikes out swinging. Ken Griffey has singled, scoring in. Hell, it keeps this. The scroll wheel should not be doing this, but it does. Single scored in Torbjorksen, and Tony Del Vecchio coming up big. He gets a 2-run blast, scoring 2 runs, and the Rockets are now leading 6-2 over the Reapers. Here in the 6th inning, the Kings and Ninjas game is still close. Kings are trailing by 2. Abenduct has pitched 6 no-hit innings. Goodness gracious me. Ricky Henderson has hit a solo home run that gives the Pioneers a 5-1 lead. Rockets and Reapers, Kings and Ninjas. Not a lot is going on. But then it's like nothing goes on and then everything goes on. Meanwhile, speaking of which, Amir Andrews hits a solo homer for the Reapers. They're now trailing by 3. Santillan and Weber both hit solo homers for the Pioneers. They're leading 7-1 over the Captains now in the top of the 7th. Looks like Kings have runners on second with 2 out. A little, yeah, it's kind of like a day late and a dollar short. It's a shame that we didn't watch some of these games, but, you know, the games we did watch were very close. They were very close games. Captain Kegleg breaks Abenduct's no-hitter as he hits a solo home run, giving his Captains a chance. They are still down by 5 here in the bottom of the 7th. That is all that is currently happening at the moment. We are in the 8th inning for both the Rockets and Reapers and the Kings and Ninjas. The Ninjas are still holding on to their lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Top of the 8th, the Reapers have trying to keep the Rockets from scoring, and they fail to do so as Ken Griffey scores after a Pamela Kirkos ground out, and that'll give the Rockets a 7-3 lead with 1 out still in the top of the 8th. Anything else going on? Harry Fast has doubled. That scores in Del Vecchio and Kirkos. Ninjas take down the Kings. 3-1 is your final score. Especially takes the win. Silverhand gets the loss. Meanwhile, the Rockets are still leading 9-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Pioneers are still leading over the Captains 7-2 as they enter the top of the 9th inning. Both Rockets and Reapers games entering in the 9th. Reapers are down by 6 as Ken Griffey hits a sacrifice fly that scores in Chico Pappas. It's now 10-3 in favor of the Reapers. Reapers are down to their final 3 outs, as are the Captains. Both teams get a runner on first. Final 2 games of the day. George Brett has doubled, and Rocco Labastra doubles, scoring in Brett. 1 out, runner in scoring position for the Reapers. John Doe flies out, last out. Last chance for the Reapers is up to Reynolds, and Reynolds is retired. Meanwhile, for the Captains, they are also down to their final strike, and they are also defeated by the Pioneers. Pioneers take it in 9, 7-2 commanding win. Dominant performance by Appenduct, who takes them down. Ball takes the loss, sadly. And for the Rockets and the Reapers, Rockets take down the Reapers. Final score of 10-4. Choo Choo Magoo gets the win. Bondrock gets the loss. Not bad. Good stuff all around. You know, let's see. How far do we have to get to a batter? Pitcher, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tony Del Vecchio. Holy cow. How is that? That's not that impressive. I feel like, isn't that the exact same that Ahmed Khan got? Anyways, Gross, Koufax, Beatty, Elijah Knock, Marquardt. I don't understand how Del Vecchio gets this. This isn't that big of a deal. The Rockets won by so many points. I would not count Del Vecchio. Gross, Koufax, Beatty, Knock, Marquardt, Dawson, all of the top performers, all of them pitchers. That is a dominant performance by the pitchers. That was maybe an outfield assist or something else, I guess. I don't know. But that is game number 1. Games 1, pitchers came to play for game 1s. Not every game is going to be like this. Most of them were very much like this. But arguably speaking, of all the games that concluded, 1-run game, 1-run game, 1-run game, 1-run game, 2-run game, 2-run game, 1-run game. There were some really close games today. And that would be a very interesting beginning for Season 2. I almost said Season 3. We're not that far ahead yet.